A Champions League clash disguised as a Europa League tie. Manchester United and Barcelona have cancelled each other in a 2-2 draw at the Camp Nou. And I'm echoing Erik Ten Hag's words when I say that Manchester United were the best team, that we could have killed Barcelona in the first tie, and we should have won by 2 or 3 goals. I'm also echoing Xavi Hernandez's words when I say that Manchester United are back, because don't be fooled. This Barcelona team are actually very good. They are 8 points clear at the top of La Liga. If this Barca team are weak, then what does it say about the rest of La Liga? Now, without further ado, let's analyze. The first sequence we're going to look at is a sequence that shows exactly how we were able to tame Barcelona and keep them at arm's length, but also how we were able to progress the ball efficiently and create chances. So, the sequence starts with the Barcelona build-up, and this actually really shows the Manchester United shape and how creative and how much of an outside-the-box thinker Erik Ten Hag is. So here with the Barcelona build-up right here, of course, we have the Manchester United front three of Bruno Fernandes, Sancho, and Rashford. But here, Weghorst, he was tasked with marking Kessie. And then Fred, who did an amazing job on Frenkie de Jong. And then, of course, Casemiro over here, marking Xavi or Pedri, depending on who comes into this number 10 position right here. So let's see what happens with Barcelona's build-up. Now, remember, it's in Barcelona's DNA to build up this way. And so Manchester United definitely are improving in this department. So obviously, as you can see, Bruno Fernandes is triggered, goes in to press him. Now, as you can see, Fred is staying in with Frenkie de Jong and Weghorst staying in with Kessie over here. So Ter Stegen gets the ball. There aren't many options. Now look, Fred sees that Frenkie de Jong is leaving and going into this spot right here in order to help up with the build-up play. So he lets him go. He doesn't follow him. What Fred does here is pretty intelligent. Look, he's watching Kounde. He's watching Frenkie de Jong as well, but he's watching Jules Kounde as well. So he's watching and he's waiting. Now, the moment Kounde shapes his body in a way that indicates that he's going to pass the ball to Frenkie de Jong, look at Fred. He's ready. He sprints high intensity towards Frenkie de Jong. And as you can see, Weghorst is still with Kessie over here. He doesn't let him find an inch of space with, of course, Bruno Fernandes and Sancho covering the wide players here. So Frenkie de Jong can't do much with the ball. Ter Stegen, as you can see, there isn't much space for the Barcelona players. Frenkie de Jong, Alonso, Kessie, all of them are taken. Kounde. So Stegen has to go with the long ball. Now this is checkmate. These balls like this are quite hard to control. Lewandowski, I think, gets the ball over here. Varane comes in with a good tackle. And then we have the momentum. Sancho gets the ball, plays it to Rashford, and this could have been a very good chance. It could have led to a goal. But throughout the game, we were able to disrupt Barcelona's build-up play using this tight marking strategy. Now, Barcelona, unfortunately for them, they didn't have something that we had. Now, this is our build-up play. Now, one thing that you notice about Manchester United right now is that we are outnumbered in our own half. Look, Camp Nou is a huge pitch. And look at all of this space. What Manchester United right now are saying, they're doing exactly what I said should have been done against Leeds. And I think that now Weghorst is used in a completely different role at Manchester United. He's used as a shadow striker behind Marcus Rashford. And this is why Barcelona are very efficient at pressing from the front. And so Manchester United are just taking the highway. What De Gea is going to do, as you can see, we are outnumbered by Barcelona players in here, so he's not going to take the risk. What he's going to do is go in for a long ball towards this cluster right here. Now, as you can see, before the ball even lands, over here, we have the same number of players as Barcelona do. And we are close to one another. Like a wolf pack just waiting for that ball to land. Like a school of piranhas, basically. Just waiting for that piece of meat to land before we jump on it. So it comes in. Kessie cannot handle Weghorst. Okay, so it doesn't lead too much over here. But as the ball makes its way to Frenkie de Jong, Bruno Fernandes and Fred are on him like bees on honey. And then he's gone. We get a free kick, and then we are able to progress the ball in Barcelona's final third. So this was a great strategy for us in that Barcelona were trying to build up from the back, so we man-marked them and we pressed them with intensity. But then when it was our turn to build up from the back, most of the time we just used Weghorst instead, and we were able, playing it a direct way, to actually progress the ball much faster and much more efficiently, much more dangerously than Barcelona. Now let's talk about the goals that we have conceded and some areas of improvement. Before I do that, I want to talk about this young man right here, Tyrell Malacia. Now listen, I don't want this segment of the video to be misconstrued as me criticizing him. No, I'm always cutting young players some slack. But in the case of Malaysia, this was probably the biggest game of his career. He's playing in the Camp Nou against a very good Barcelona team with 85, 90,000 people against you. This was a nerves issue. It's not an ability issue, but a nerves issue. But it was clear that he simply was not there. Composure was not there. Like, look at this sequence, for example. He gets a free kick. Barcelona were putting us under pressure. This free kick right here is a godsend. What you do with this free kick is that you just wait. Wait for the Barcelona players to go. You wait for your back line to go up. And then you either play it long or you build up from the back, but you wait. Be patient. Look what Malaysia does instead. He gets up. Look. And then he plays it fast. I mean, what is the incentive for Manchester United for us to play this free kick fast? Why? What was he trying to do? Like, take them and get them, take them by surprise? I just don't see the incentive. Why would he do this instead of just being patient? And that's just, you know, a young man making a young man's mistake. But the reason why I'm mentioning Malaysia over here is because the sequence that have led to the corner that Barcelona have scored has also been Malaysia's fault, but also the reason why we conceded the goal is also directly related to Tyrell Malacia. So this could have been a goal for Barcelona or a penalty. It just put us in a very difficult situation and for no reason whatsoever. Okay? Now, let's look at the Barcelona goal. So, of course, it came from a corner and Malacia is, of course, responsible here. Now, let's look at who's marking Marcos Alonso. It's Tyrell Malacia. Now, again, I have to ask a question over here. Bruno Fernandes is over here. But, I mean, if I'm thinking about it, if I had to make a decision, I would say maybe Fred or Tyrell Malacia would actually be more suitable here since both of them are explosive, but also both of them are short. That means you don't want them being in an aerial duel. You actually want them being on the edge of the box. Also, we do have quite a few tall players lined up here who are not marking anyone. So how come Tyrell Malacia and Fred, both of them who are our shortest players, are the ones marking some of Barcelona's most dangerous players? These are their two center backs over here. And as you can see in the sequence, as the corner gets played, Malacia was marking Marcos Alonso. If you look at him over here, he's 4 yards away from the player he's supposed to mark. And then Alonso ends up being in a situation where he's marked by Malacia. And then he ends up winning a duel against Fred, which most people are going to win in the air because he's one of the shortest players that we have. Goal for Barcelona. A goal that was not supposed to happen. It happened because of lapses in concentration and in us giving Barcelona incremental advantages until they were in that situation where they scored the goal. The second goal, same thing. You know, when I saw this sequence right here that I'm about to show you, I knew Barcelona were going to score because you cannot make this kind of mistakes and go unpunished. We were 2-1 up at this point. Look at this build-up right here. It just doesn't make sense. Luke Shaw over here, he has a lot of time. So here, Malacia is trying to drag Raphinha with him. Okay, good movement. I like that. That's very good. But what happens next is really what I find puzzling over here. So Luke Shaw goes back to David De Gea. Now Manchester United players, Wan-Bissaka and Varane are moving to create space. That's fine. De Gea goes in here. But as you can see, Casemiro is not really moving to create space. He's actually indicating to his teammates, just play it slow, just take time, it's fine. We are not in a rush, okay? Varane now goes in with Luke Shaw, and here is the problem. Look at Raphinha where he is. Look at Malacia where he is. He's still very wide and up. He should actually come closer because he tried to drag Raphinha with him. It worked for a little bit. It didn't work now. Then he should actually come closer to Luke Shaw to become an option, to become available to receive the ball. But he doesn't. So Luke Shaw only has Casemiro, and then Casemiro, of course, just misplaces his pass. Casemiro didn't have the best game. We are used to high standards from Casemiro. And now it goes into a chance for Barcelona. We just gifted them the ball. We didn't have any incentive again to play the way we did, but we did it anyway, and now Raphinha is going to punish us. I mean, listen, Barcelona had no business scoring goals against us. We gifted them these goals, okay? Now, I get it. The way Manchester United were trying to play is because of this. This is a really nice sequence from Manchester United. We get the ball in our own box, and look at this. This was beautiful. Casemiro over here. There you go. Sancho, Weghorst, Casemiro again. Look at this. Fred. One-touch football to Weghorst. Then you go beautiful pass towards Sancho over there. No, I think that's Rashford, yeah? Rashford cuts inside and then lays in on to Wan-Bissaka, and beautiful shot. Okay, I get it. This is how Manchester United want to play under Erik ten Hag. But sometimes I think the main issue at Manchester United right now is that we are not able to properly assess risk. We are just too eager to play the way Erik ten Hag wants the players to play. But sometimes, you have to analyze the situation and understand whether you need to go all the way in or whether it's time for you to be patient, okay? Now, let's talk about our own goals. So, of course, here there was a chance. This is the Weghorst chance in the beginning, in the first half, which I think should have got in. We win the ball in the byline. Wan-Bissaka, look, Bruno Fernandes wants the ball. Now, Rashford is coming from an offside position, but Weghorst's positioning is amazing right here. Now, I've talked in so many videos about the Manchester United players and how they have improved in terms of creating and exploiting space under Erik ten Hag. But here, I want to focus more on the passers of the ball. Bruno Fernandes here, picking the right pass, timing it perfectly towards Weghorst, and that should have been a goal. I'm sorry, this should have been a goal, okay? Now, why does this matter? Is because the same principle that applies to Bruno Fernandes also is going to apply to Casemiro for our equalizing goal. Beautiful Marcus Rashford goal. Now here, Marcus Rashford is offside, coming in from an offside position. And then we have Fred over here and Casemiro. Casemiro doesn't have much time to think. But here, two things are going to happen. Look at how Fred is going to shape his body. He is tasked by marking Frankie de Jong, but it's not just a defensive issue. That means that if Frankie de Jong has a lapse in focus, in concentration, then Fred is there to exploit it. Casemiro, instead of going for Rashford, that's what an inexperienced player would do, just too eager to play it for the most dangerous player. At least Rashford here looks very dangerous because he's on the shoulder of the last man, but Casemiro is wiser than that. He plays an outside of the foot ball towards Fred. Frankie de Jong completely out. Fred, great movement. He anticipated what Casemiro was going to do. Now Marcus Rashford is onside, and this is where Marcus Rashford is extremely dangerous. Fred, beautiful pass. Sorry, beautiful pass into the space towards Rashford. And then, listen, this finish, I'm not even going to say anything about it because nothing that I can say is ever going to make it justice. It's just an elite, mind-boggling finish from an elite player who is in the form of his life. That was 1-1 Manchester United. Now the second goal also involved Fred and Frankie de Jong. By the way, Fred, what an amazing game. He has pocketed Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong did not touch the ball. He was not in the game. I think he probably had a rating of 4 out of 10 in this game because Fred was on him like bees on honey. Look at Fred. Gets the ball cleanly, beautiful, decisive. This is the Fred that I like to see. Okay, now we have the ball. Sancho towards Marcus Rashford, and then we get the corner, okay? So, now this is the corner that we scored the second goal from, okay? Now, what's interesting here, and what I really like about this, is that I've talked a lot about how Manchester United under Erik ten Hag, especially with set-piece coach Erik Ramsey, we have become so much better at both defending and scoring from set pieces. But what I like about this is also the variety of goals that we score, okay? Here, Marcus Rashford, he knows exactly what he wants. He's asking for the ball, and he knows exactly what he's going to do. Look, Raphinha knows exactly what Rashford is going to do. And then, that's it. It's like, you know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then he's through, and then beautiful low whipped cross, and then own goal by Jules Kounde. Beautiful goal. And then, of course, there is this sequence. Manchester United are one of the most dangerous teams in Europe right now. I think in the Premier League, only Brentford are better than us when it comes to playing in transitions and counter-attacking football. I mean, look at this. Fred gets the ball. Bruno Fernandes, he just needs a split second to make a decision. And look at this pass. Look at this. Mr. Hollywood pass strikes again. Rashford is spacey, you're not going to catch him. And I'm sorry, this is a foul. And Kounde was on a yellow card. This should have been a red card. You could make an argument on whether it was a penalty, whether it was inside the box or outside the box. I don't care about that, but I agree with Erik ten Hag. This should have been a red card. But of course, UEFA Lona strikes again. I don't know. There is now a controversy about Barcelona and them making a 1 million euro payment to a referee owned company. So, watch that space. But yeah, Barcelona, definitely some sketchy decisions in their favor. But anyway, great performance by Manchester United overall. I think that we just need a few tweaks before we are at that elite level where we can see performances like these consistently in the Champions League. So overall, when you look at this result in the context it's in, then it is a good result. It's a draw away from home against the top team in Spain. And then at Old Trafford, we are actually going to have two of our best players. Marcel Sabitzer is going to be back, and Lisandro Martinez is going to be back, which means he's probably going to play as the left-sided centre back, hence pushing Luke Shaw in his favorite position as the left back. So yeah, I mean, this Barcelona team are very good, but also they are going to be without Xavi and potentially Pedri as well. So I am confident. I think Old Trafford, the atmosphere is going to be electric, and I think that we are favourites to go through. And that's all credit to Erik ten Hag and to the huge improvements that we have seen this season under his guidance here at Manchester United. So anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this analysis video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and cheers.